everybody, so welcome back. After having tested your mettle on a simulated battle, you all then went about your orientation tasks after meeting Bosun Tardo, the head of cadet training here at Spelljammer Academy. You got your bunks, had a little bit of a run-in with a potential rival or a bully, but you all quickly put her and her little gang in place. You all then continued about your orientation tasks, gearing up, using your requisition vouchers to pick up ammo and gear and all these other things that you would need, and then proceeded through an obstacle course, which you all managed to clear quite spectacularly. For the most part, at least. You all then returned to Bosun Tardo to report your completion of your orientation tasks, and having been so impressed by your display in the simulation deck earlier today, she decided that you all could meet the Academy headmaster, Mert the Merciless. More or less, just she needed somebody to take a crate to him, and she decided it would be an excellent opportunity for all of you to do so. So, having given you some gold security badges, which allowed you access up to the higher levels of the Academy, the bridge quarters to be exact, you all carried this crate up into Mert's quarters, noticing that the Academy seemed to be on high alert, higher than normal, for unknown reasons as of yet. But you managed to get the crate to Mert the Merciless's quarters, finding him recovering from what appeared to be a rather heavy night of drinking. He was barely conscious and mumbling to you all to leave the crate, open it up, and leave, and you all did. However, as you opened the crate's lid, a cacophony of high-pitched squeals began to emanate from within the crate, and grotesque little creatures scuttled out and into the light. These ugly cat-sized monsters were very hairy and had spider-like bodies and eel-like heads. Mert the Merciless yelped from his position on the bed wrapped up in the covers. In his shock, he stumbled out, fell to the floor, thumped down, wrapped up into sheets as those strange creatures began to make their way out. And with that, everyone, we are going to go ahead and roll initiative. Oh, damn, it looks like we still have the old initiative order up. Let me get rid of that real quick. And we will re-roll, and you can use your rolls that you just put up. Ziggy, let me go ahead and get you out there. You are also going to roll initiative.
Okay, cool.
I think I rolled mine and it was 12, so let me just re-roll it. So you put it up there.
Look
yeah,
out,
12's a lot.
Rolled a 7.
Well.
Alright, who needs changing?
Me, mine should be 12.14. Actually, let me see if I can hit it.
Which, yeah, if you can actually change it yourself in the... Yep, perfect, thank you. Fantastic. So as these strange little eel-like creatures begin spilling out over the top, they appear to be going first. So...
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it most certainly is. So, they begin to swarm and attack, beginning by pouring out of this chest, and first swarming over the first 3 individuals they find, being Red, Zook, and Matthias. There are 10 of them pouring out of there, so we will go ahead and begin the attacks. Matthias, we will begin with you. Three of them attacking you, Matthias. It appears to be a 9, an 18, and an 11.
Armor class is an 18, so the one with an 18 hits.
Okay. Matthias, that is going to be 5 piercing and 2 poison. I then need you to succeed on a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh,
As this creature bites in, you can feel venom from the bite beginning to pour into the wound.
Whatever you do, don't try and suck it out.
I believe that failed.
A 6 does in fact fail. Matthias, you begin to feel your muscles weaken and droop. You are poisoned. For 1 minute, you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Okay.
But get that poison marker on there. Zook, you now have... So this one, and this one have attacked Matthias. Zook, you appear to have 2 coming after you now. With a 15 and a 17 to hit.
They both hit.
Oof. Okay.
Indeed.
Zook, the first attack is 3 piercing and 3 poison for 6. The next attack is 3 piercing and 2 poison. Oh no! Alright, they swarm over Zook, biting. He drops under a pile of them.
Buddy down.
Now for Red.
Womp womp.
Red, we have a 20, a 6, and a nat 1.
Oh, don't do
20
that.
hits.
That is going to be 3 piercing and 2 poison to Red. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually need a Constitution save from Red as well. Perfect. Thank you, Red. You do succeed and avoid being poisoned. That is all of them. There is only 8. I was mistaken. Fortunately for everyone. There is not 10. So, Matthias, you are up.
Excuse me.
Roll playing that poison up.
Do you need medical assistance?
Poisoned IRL.
I am off duty. Save yourself.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my goodness.
Savage.
Yeah.
The first thing Matthias is going to do is...
Hey, hush. Hush.
Oh, credits popped up like a bajillion times instead of once. I'm sorry. For starters, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. Nice. A full 10 back to you. That's a huge Cure Wounds.
So,
Wow.
that actually puts me just back up to
Yep, back up to
full.
full.
And I do not like all these things around me, so I am going to risk an opportunity attack from at least one of them.
Good idea.
It does get a 10 to hit. Matthias,
Yeah,
if you
it's
move
just-
from there, it does appear 2 of them will get opportunity attacks against you.
Take another, see what the other one does then.
15 to hit.
That misses.
All right, fantastic. They
And I'm
snap
going
at
to
you as you attempt to flee.
rotate around to there just so I can get some lined up to unleash upon next time around. And that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Zook is taking a nap.
Good luck, Zook.
Is this the first
Nice.
death save of the
Yeah.
campaign?
I think it
Yep.
is. I think it is.
Congrats.
All right.
What an honor.
Yeah, right? Sari, you are up.
Siri is going to power slide over here.
Nice.
And can you show me what a 15-foot cone looks like, please?
Oh yeah.
It's alright, baby doll.
15-foot radius?
Cone.
Cone.
Oh, cone. God, my brain is not functioning. That's
It's
not
okay.
what that is. Yeah, so Ziggy has the right of it there. You need a 15-foot cone for... Is this for burning hands?
No, it's for her breath weapon.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's gonna get every one of them.
Yay. She is going to bare her teeth and just like hiss. It's not doesn't look so much like a. It just looks like almost like a mirage comes out, like that kind of wavy line. Bad breath.
Nice.
And that is how do I? Let me see. Oh.
It'd be in your actions.
Yeah.
I know. I clicked
Oh,
it
that's
and
not-
it came up racial.
Okay, that's fine. So it does. So your breath weapon, gem dragonborn. So when you take the attack action on your turn, you can replace one of your attacks with an exhalation of magical energy, 15-foot cone. So the DC is 8 plus your Constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So
It looks
8.
like a DC 12 for Dex,
8, 9,
and they'll
10,
take
yeah,
1
11,
D10
Fantastic. Okay,
of
go and roll the
necrotic
D10.
damage. Sweet. Meh.
5.
Okay.
Right in the middle.
Is it half or no damage on success?
Double check. Half on a fail. Full damage on a fail, half on success.
Okay, fantastic. All right, several of them succeed, but they all take some damage, scurrying around as they crawl out of the crate.
If I move back, because I didn't use all my movement, if I take a step back, am I getting opportunity attacks?
Looks like
on
just
me?
one of them would get an opportunity on you.
Nah, I'll stay there.
Okay. All right, Anila,
Use Zook as a
that brings
shield.
us to you.
Not a big shield. My
All right.
my avatar's too big.
I thought okay, go ahead, Anila.
I'm going to cast ice knife on this creature here.
Fantastic. 20 hits for sure.
And it
Alright.
explodes.
And it
Yeah.
explodes.
That is going to be great. Okay, so DC 13 Dex. So it's just Ice Knife is 20. Is just the original 10 piercing, or is it? Can we put it up?
The
I forget how it
DC
works.
is for the DC is
The
for the
surrounding
cold
ones,
damage.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic. So it just takes that the full piercing. Nice max roll. So that does in fact kill that one outright for 10 piercing, and then each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a Dex saving throw. All right, so that'll be quite a few of them.
That's such a great spell choice.
Yeah, Ice Knife is really good, especially in this situation. Red, unfortunately, it does appear that you'll have to make that save as well, but
Oh, I thought that the creature was in this space. But okay, sorry.
no worries. Red succeeds easily.
He wants to kill Red anyway.
Yeah, don't feel bad about doing damage to Red at all.
Never feel bad for putting me in spells. I accept it.
All right, so DC 13 Dex save against 4 cold damage.
Give me your
Ooh.
squishy.
Did the music stop? Oh, it's
New
just
song
moving.
starting. Yeah. All right, all of them fail. Several of them die as the Ice Knife slams into the first one, impaling it, exploding midair, showering the rest of them with icy crystals. Yeah, great use there. Right, anything else from Manila?
No, I'll even stay where I am, and then I'll end turn.
Okay, that is going to bring us to Red.
I'm going to take care of the one closest to Zook.
Okay. Nine is
I
not
don't think
going
that
to do
hits.
it. No, it does not.
That's it for Red.
Okay. So, Ziggy. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Is it Ziggy?
Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy Stardust.
Ziggy, nice. Okay, fantastic. So, Ziggy, Bosentarda recently had informed you that you were to meet up with this other training group. You had caught her eye as you were completing your own training tasks, and she thought that you would be a good fit here. Now, as you made your way up the tower towards Mert's quarters to meet up with this group, You began to hear the telltale signs of combat emerging from Mert's room. Rushing around the corner, you arrive to see this scene. What do you do, Z?
It looks like people need help, but it looks like all these bad guys are pretty beat up. So I think I can help by just casting Sleep
I am.
and centering it. Like, maybe right here to get all of them.
Okay.
Okay, so 26.
26 points of sleep. Okay, let me do some math here.
I know,
Okay, so
baby.
it starts
Hold
from
on,
the
Daddy's
lowest and
coming.
then goes up from there, right?
Yep.
She wants to go back.
1, 2, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 19 points between all of them.
Okay. They all fall asleep. I like to imagine that it's like a little like shattering of stardust that just kind of settles
Aw.
in and lulls them to sleep as the
Like
void takes
Sandman.
them. Yeah. I'm Mr. Sandman, I guess.
Fantastic. So, Ziggy, as you enter into the room and these little dust of stardust begins to fall over all of them, they all begin kind of swaying and wavering around a bit. And there's no saving throws against that. They just drop.
Yep.
Fantastic. And so, they do all simply drop.
Wow, that was really easy, guys.
So as Ziggy walks in and casts this spell, putting all of these creatures to sleep, how do you all respond? What do you all do? Well, Ziggy, why don't you go ahead and describe your character for us first?
Okay, so, in walks this tall, very darkly, like, armored character. Just weird, genki, almost like, alien thingamabob with green skin and a giant anime sword. And he just,
Oh,
like,
cool.
violently walks in and is like, go to sleep. And just, like, says that to all the eels, and they do.
Fantastic. Well, you put an end to that pretty quickly. So Mert is rolling around in his sheets, stumbling and pulling and yanking to get himself out. What do you all do with all the unconscious spider creatures all over the floor?
He's gonna run in and just slash at them.
I begin
Yeah, cut the heads
skewering
off.
them and then
Yeah.
putting like a piece of vegetable and then skewering another
Oh no!
and another piece of vegetable.
I don't think we can eat this. I just say
Did you-
silent as they see him do that.
Did you remove the venoms? Did you remove the venom sac?
No. That is tastiest part.
Sugar, you can't eat that. You'll die.
You doubt my cooking skills already.
Oh yeah, Zook. Have 6 points of healing.
He's just bleeding out on the floor.
What?
Thank God Red didn't try to cook the bunny.
Little bunny, are you okay?
Who's that guy?
Just like these dark, soulless eyes stare deep into you.
Does,
You got
does,
You've got the coolest sword ever.
he have a badge on so we know he's not like the eel mother?
Ziggy would in fact have a gold training badge on as well.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do kind of look like an eel that had arms and legs.
Okay, but that art is so cool. Like, that's the coolest HeroForge I have seen. That is so neat.
Mert's hopping around in his underwear trying to pull up his pants.
What?
As all of us are
Uh,
just ignoring him while we're talking to Zeke or Ziggy.
Ziggy. Ziggy?
Sir, did you order venomous eels?
To battle! He turns around, he pulls his rapier out, his pants fall. I see you've done it. Congratulations. God.
Was this a test?
A test. No, I'm afraid this was not. Yeah, so you all have gone around and skewered and stabbed and taken care of the little creatures, right?
Yeah.
So,
Would Sarah be able to go back to what she was doing before the eels so rudely interrupted, making him a hangover cure?
yeah.
Sweet.
I have a much more important question. How many do I fit on the tip of a rapier before it's like?
I would
Shish
probably
kebab.
say
Kebab.
I would probably say 4.
An eel
Got it.
kebab.
Zook's
Fine.
just looking in the box more, see if there's anything else in the box.
4 space crabs.
There is
Zook
nothing
has
else in the
crabs.
box. It appears that there was just some other little smaller boxes piled on top of where these creatures were hiding out inside. The box only had them inside of it. However, Mert looks over and he says, "Whoever sent those here meant to kill me. That is for certain. If it hadn't been for all of you and your quick actions, I'd surely be dead. I believe the reward is in order for your courage and, of course, your discrepancy in the state that you found me in. I have a bit of a reputation to maintain, you understand."
Meine Herren,
How
would you
does
know
a... What?
who would want to kill you?
I'm not sure. And at this point, you can all hear boots rushing up. You hear the sound of what sounds like security on their way to the room.
Zook's gonna hop up on the box and be like, oh, you said reward?
Yes, indeed. You there, at the table. Points towards you, Sari. Open that drawer to your left. You'll find a suitable reward inside. I believe there are 6 in there.
You know, open up that drawer.
There
Zook's
are
hopping up and
6
down.
little gold ingots in there.
Oh, gold
Ooh,
ingots.
Is that like gold?
money.
Yeah, like a little
Okay.
gold bar, like a small bar.
Okay. Okay.
And
This is-
what is
each
the
one of
gold
those is
value?
worth 50. You may each
Whoa,
have one. I
ooh.
appreciate again your courage and your discrepancy.
Zook's gonna bite into it to make sure it's real gold.
Oh yeah, it most certainly is.
Do you
Do you need me
do
to
you mean
roll?
discretion? Sir, do you mean discretion?
Yes, just excuse me. It was quite the evening.
Do you need me to
those-
roll a medicine check or anything for this hangover cure? Because he's all
Sure.
jacked up.
Yeah, go for it.
By meaning of
Very nice.
discretion, what is that?
Don't tell
It's a
anybody.
secret.
Don't tell anybody what. But
Exactly.
The condition you found me in, rolling out of bed. Oh. Yes. I see why they like you. Indeed.
We just
Indeed.
met this guy.
I guess introductions are in order. I am Ziggy.
Ziggy, it's nice to meet you. I'm Zook.
I was told by the tar person,
Bosun
Tardo.
Tardo.
Boatswain Tarto, Boatswain Tarto.
Oh, very cool.
We keep
Are you-
talking about this, but did we ever land on? Do we say bosun or do we say boatswain?
I will continue
am-
to say bosun.
I will say Boatswain, as I don't know how to speak common very well.
I will weep quietly.
So as you mentioned, Bosun Tardo, she comes skidding into view from the hallway and marching in with a rather impressive looking sword drawn and several Academy security behind her. She's like, "Sir, are you okay? We heard word that there was combat on this floor. We heard you saw your door open. What the hell are those? How did Naogi get in here?" And then she turns towards the
What?
others behind her. "Search the entire floor. Find out if there's any more of them."
Nope. They all came out of the box.
The guards, if they heard you, they did not listen to a word you said, so they've turned and make their way out.
He just shrugs anyways.
Bosun Tardo steps into the room. She says, "It appears that I have chosen wisely in assigning you all to deliver this crate. If it had
Yeah,
been
we're
any-
badasses.
I can see that, and she kicks one of the dead Naogis on the floor. These could have proven quite difficult even for a master swordsman such as yourself. Mert is still like swaying on his feet a bit. He's stopped slurring his words, Sari, and he's sipping on the glass that you've given him, and he says, He is
Where's
managing to
Matthias?
stay standing up though. Where's Matthias? You had eaten apparently.
I
think you deleted him on accident.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a black screen.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think you were just deleting the eels en masse and just Matthias is caught in the crossfire.
Who else?
Oh,
Who
there
else
we
got
go.
deleted? Nobody else. Okay, good.
You know what?
Zook looks at Bozentardo and then points at the thing on Matthias' shoulder and he's like, did we earn one of those now too?
Yes, I suppose you all have. Rescuing the
He claps.
headmaster is most certainly an admirable feat.
Is there
Did you see
anything
him
else
hop and clap?
interesting at the table? Like the big desk?
Yeah. So the table itself is kind of like a holographic map. There's tiny figures running around on it representing troops. It appears that they're repeating a battle over and over again. The figurines magically animate as you're standing there. So you're
Is
playing
it
out a mock battle
one
between giants and dragons.
Oh. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like play-by-play narration over it as well?
Do we see
No.
is there a Dampier there and a angelic barbarian and a guy with a lot of tattoos on his arms?
Oh, I see what this is.
There is a blue dragon fighting against many what appear to be storm giants. And
Oh.
Sari, as you close in, several of them stop and look up towards you and like begin leveling like weapons and little catapults at you.
Nice.
I love it. I love everything about it.
So Bozentardo is handing out a pip for each of you, a little sign of acknowledgement or kind of a little insignia to prove that you've done something worth noting. So yeah, each of you does have a little pip now.
Does this mean Matthias has two?
It does not mean Matthias has two, unfortunately. Earning the second one is very difficult.
Haha.
Zook puts his on his shoulder or whatever, and he just kind of like got that like over-exaggerated proud stance, like I'm a badass.
What's a pip?
Oh, we went. kidding.
It's like a little like badge that says we're awesome.
Right.
Okay.
I referenced
You know-
I referenced Star Trek in a very obscure way, and more people got it than I thought they would. So we ran with it.
Oh, okay.
Pips, I'll show you right now. They go on like the collar of your shirt or somewhere on
Like,
your uniform.
Like if you ever saw the Next Generation or Deep Space Nine, the little gold or black little circular things on the neck collar to kind of denote who was captain, commander, lieutenant, stuff of that nature.
Right.
Okay.
Sari is gonna put hers on the knuckle of her glove.
Nice. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Chris. Beat me to it by a mile. Okay. So, as you all are discussing this, and Bozentardo is debriefing you, trying to figure out what exactly happened here, she's looking around at the crate. By this point, a klaxon alarm has begun sounding throughout the school. Didn't go off until just a moment ago, so the timing is a bit odd. Now, after a few moments of this, and Bozentardo, she's looking around a bit concerned. You see her approach Mert and kind of lean over and whisper something to him. Who would we say would be closest to Mert the Merciless at the moment?
Looks like Zook, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh. Mm.
So you hear them whisper. You hear Bozentardo lean
My
over and whisper
passive
something to
16.
Merce. Yeah, I don't think this would be a job for passive.
Okay.
So she leans in, whispers something to him, but as she's completing whatever sentence, Mr. Pip, the Autognome Quartermaster, steps into view in the hallway there. And it's difficult to tell but the autognome looks worried. His bronze mustache hangs lower than usual, and his mechanical eyes have kind of sunken down into their sockets. Here, let me show y'all Mr. Pip again real quick. So Mr.
Good job,
Pip,
baby.
Mr. Pip.
Mr. Blip, I'm sorry, Mr. Blip.
Blip.
He's my hero. If I
was
die, I'm playing
walking
him.
in.
Aw. I love the
And-
mustache.
He has his hat in his hands. He's practically wringing it. And
Blip, blip, cheerio. That
So-
shit he is.
with regret, Master Mert, this attack was merely a diversion. While our forces were being drawn here, more burglaries were recorded across the academy. It appears our thief has struck again.
What has the thief stolen?
We have a thief.
He looks towards all of you, and Bosun Tardo says, Nothing for all of you to concern yourselves with. Nothing at all. You all have much more pressing matters to deal with, matters fitting your position at the Academy. Allow us to take care of Academy security. You focus on your studies. You all are dismissed, and from what Mert here has told me,
Aw.
all properly rewarded for your heroism. 50 gold pieces each is a fine reward.
Yeah,
Return
but if
to your
there's a
quarters.
thief, there's a thief. They're gonna take it.
Guard it as well as you've guarded.
You see Zook
Headmaster
hugging
Merc.
his.
Sari currently has terrible hiccups after using her breath weapon.
Ah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
You see Zook like open his backpack and put his gold bag like as far down as deep as he can.
So Bosun Tardo turns towards you all. You all are dismissed. Return to your quarters.
Yes,
Aye
ma'am.
aye!
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I salute and I guess I head off.
So,
So what
she's
does
gonna
what does your
look at
salute
Ziggy.
what does your salute look like, Ziggy?
I don't know. I guess since most Gisserai are monks, it's just probably like a monk stance of some sort.
Okay.
You know, just like arms crossed around my chest or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, Bosun
You
Tardo
could do the
turns
whole-
towards you and kind of returns the gesture awkwardly.
You could do the whole military thing where you take your sword and hold it up in front of your face.
Oh. Ooh. It's just salute with a giant sword.
I did it with a
Just, like, slam down.
I've done it with a saber.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. With that, you all begin making your way downtown, walking fast. Strangers pass. You're homebound.
Downtown.
But you do begin making your way back towards the cadet quarters, heading down. The first security checkpoint that you meet while exiting from the bridge quarters, the security guard there, a rather tall and skinny male Hadozi, steps into your path and says, Bosun Tardo has instructed us to retrieve your security badges. From what she
What?
tells me, each of you has a gold security badge.
Zook tries to like sneakily put his in his pocket.
Matthias is gonna hand his over.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Suck
Zeke.
up.
You have successfully hidden it.
Woohoo!
However, the guard does
Uh-oh.
stand in front of you, each of you, and looks. Has anyone else withheld their security badge?
No.
No, I'm just holding
No.
mine up way up in the air.
Okay, he would have taken it. Okay, so he kind of go ahead, Red. Okay, so he kind of looks down in his hand. He says, "I was told each of you received a training badge. Has my information been relayed incorrectly?"
Zook just shrugs and doesn't say anything.
Do you not have another badge? He kind of thinks for a moment, looks towards Zook. So I believe you are the only one that hasn't returned one to me. Did the bosun not give you one?
Maybe
I lo-
Bunny is so small. He
I
did
think-
not. He did
I
not
think-
get one.
I think I might have lost it in the fight.
Oh,
Aw.
well, that can certainly happen. It is a
Yeah, they whipped his ass, so you know.
I kind of got knocked out.
Little Bunny
misplacing a
was
security
bleeding to death.
badge is a minor offense. They are all coded. So, I
You see him
suppose
gulp a little bit at that.
I will have to inform Bosun Tardo that Cadet Zook did not return security badge.
You just hear him say, "Damn it," and he hands it out.
So you do have it. He kind of lets a little smirk.
Oh, you're not my friend today.
He takes the gold badge.
Zook just pouts and starts walking away.
Carry on, cadets.
Little Bunny, why would you lie about the
It's
the
shiny.
thingamabob?
It's shiny.
But they wanted shiny.
I want shiny too.
I can see. Is this all how you guys do it here in the material plane? Is it all not for shinies?
Nah, just me.
Okay. I will make that note. Little Bunny likes the shinies.
Yeah.
If I find more shinies, I shall bring to you.
Zook just claps with a big smile on his face.
All right, everyone. So, as you head back towards the cadet quarters, the other levels are beginning to clear out a bit. You can tell that there's mostly just instructors and guards walking around now. They all do seem to be rather wound up. In fact, you're not seeing any cadets about, which is the first time since you've been here that there's only been instructors and security wandering around about the station. You pass way more security checkpoints as you go. None of them stop you. They've all apparently been made aware that you'd be passing through, kind of looking towards you and giving a brief nod as you all approach, because they are expecting you to be coming through the area. But yeah, they're definitely on edge. You can see hands on weapons a lot more. Earlier this morning when you were wandering around, they all seemed very relaxed and very calm, even the more serious security guards. Now each and every one of them appears on a razor's edge. But you do eventually make it back to quarters, and all the cadets are kind of gathered around. There's gossip galore, people speculating about what's happening. The cadets generally just chit-chatting amongst themselves. But as you return, you can all level up to 2.
Yay.
Sweet.
Do I get to the kitchens first?
So, if you take a look down here, Red, at the cadets' quarters section, you do have a full kitchen. There is a cook in there, although he'd be happy to allow you to take over for the evening.
Oh, okay. I thought this was like a Highlander situation. I was like, I'll fight him for the kitchen.
There can only be one.
Excuse me.
All right, everyone. So, while you level up, there's cadets wandering about, just generally going about their evening business before heading to bed. Yep. So, anybody get anything interesting at level 2? Level 2 is usually a pretty standard one.
Cutting action.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
gonna-
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
get my
picking
channel
my-
divinity.
My
I get to get my first 2 infusions, I believe.
Nice. What are you adding, Anila?
my arcane tradition.
Oh, right, wizard.
Oh,
Yeah.
You gotta choose. What are you gonna be?
Order of the Scribes.
Nice.
Oh, I love scribes.
I also got 7 health, so I'm not super squishy anymore.
Fighting style.
Those are always
Nice,
good.
Also important, yeah.
Archery or defense?
Archery. We have enough frontliners. You probably don't need defense.
All right.
Is my opinion. Sorry, my opinion.
She's gonna be pissed the first time she
No,
gets her ass kicked
see?
in combat.
Listen, I asked your opinion that time. That's the difference.
I
Who here has
personally
a-
would go archery.
Who here has the most initiative?
+5.
Whoa.
I had my proficiency bonus and something else to
Mm.
my. Yep, I had my proficiency bonus to my thing, so I'm at +5.
Anila, what is your initiative?
+2.
+2, okay. Anyone have a +3-ish?
I think Acer does too. Or
Sorry?
Saren.
Ace,
Just,
what's
you
your
know,
what's your initiative,
your initiative?
bonus?
Give me 1 second. I'm in the character mancer, so I have no idea.
Okay.
I can look.
Thank you.
Where
Like
we
how
rolled
Zook has an
initiative.
exclamation mark on there.
Series is
Oh.
a 2.
Okay. You
The
know what?
exclamation point, so I know which one's my name and which one's my character.
Ah,
So
interesting.
when I'm in chat, I can switch back and forth. Yeah, so Siri only has a +2 to her initiative.
Okay, so everyone's initiatives are middling. So here's Zook. This is
Ooh,
gonna ensure that you go first. Next time
ooh.
we have to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Armor class go all the way down.
The next initiative. Nice. Where's there a way to always roll initiative or twice on initiative?
A way to give yourself advantage on initiative.
Yeah, advantage. There we go.
Yeah,
I
I
got
think-
You
it.
always roll
Okay,
twice in initiative.
No, mine only rolls once.
Oh,
I fixed it though.
okay. Is there a way we could figure out if these are common occurrences, like the thieveries, before we go to bed or stuff?
Absolutely. The gossip abounds. Why don't you go ahead and make a charisma investigation check, Ziggy?
Oh gosh. Charisma.
Zook's just at his bunk looking at his new pip and his money.
Nice.
Matthias, looking at some of this stuff, just kind of starts doing some tinkering on some of his little items.
Hey,
Ziggy, is that
Okay.
using charisma?
yeah, that's using
Okay.
charisma.
Fantastic.
I have.
Not right now.
Okay. So, Ziggy, as you're wandering around talking to people, some of the cadets are a little bit more open than others. Some of them are kind of averse to the idea of gossiping about things, but you do find a small cluster that are kind of hunched over, talking to one another, hushed voices about it. They see you approach and they kind of scoot to make some space for you.
Uh-huh.
And you do hear them talking about thefts and attacks even, and they look up towards you like, hey, you were one of those guys that was in the room with Mert, weren't you? Is it true
Yeah.
that those freaking space spiders came out of that crate?
They look more like eels to me.
Yeah, Naogi. And they all kind of start chattering excitedly.
Is this the common occurrence here?
The oldest girl among them she shakes her head. She says, no, it's really not. This place is usually perfectly safe. You know, somebody told me that somebody told her
Oh,
that somebody was after the academy professors, after the bridge crew, trying to get them and not caring what cadets get in the way.
and why would people want to kill the cadet crew, or not kill the bridge crew?
Young gnome, kind of like laying on a bunk nearby, speaks up. As well, Mert there from Waterdeep has made all kinds of enemies over the years. Probably a list a mile long of people that want to go after him. as far as the rest of the bridge crew, they're probably just collateral damage, if you ask me.
I see. But it seems like they did not want to. That it was just diversion to take care of headmaster guy thing.
The older girl kind of looks over and she says, "See, I told you that didn't make any sense." "Well, that's the
We
best
know-
I got right now," replies the gnome.
Do we know? Is there any word of what got stolen?
Girl says, "No, not yet." And one of the kids says, "They're stealing the explosives. What else would they steal? That's what I would steal."
Very interesting. Thank
You
you
just
for
hear-
the information.
You just hear a far off scoff from Zook as he thinks that guy's an idiot.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Interrogating these guys.
What do I roll to cook these space crabs?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
let's do a survival check. Yeah.
Hey,
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't
we're
kill
eating good
yourself.
tonight.
Poison's all gone.
Yeah. So you do manage to butcher them quite expertly. The chef is kind of leaning there, watching on. Just a very, very overweight human man, kind of sitting in a chair that he practically engulfs as he sits in it. And those Naogi pretty good there. Haven't seen anyone cook those up without killing a bunch of people in about 15 years. Well done.
I would never. And then I show him my fangs.
Yeah, those are nice. He shows you his teeth, and they're like in terrible shape. I should take better care of mine, to be honest.
Red sort of recoils like, ooh.
It's too many sweets, you see. Naogi not sweet though. It's about as spicy as they come without adding anything to it.
Oh, spicy.
I learned from human friend, Gallic. Best supplement you can add.
Kind of gives like a bit of a knowing nod.
I plate them as delicately as possible.
How have you prepared
Yeah.
them?
Basically,
Basically spider crab eels.
I honestly was just gonna like flambe them,
Nice.
and then they're still on top of my rapier because I haven't gotten proper kitchen utensils yet.
You grilled them.
Right. Yeah. Bunch of the cadets enjoy it. Turned out great.
No one got sick.
No one got sick.
Yet.
Yeah.
Right, how's everyone's level up going?
Done.
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 Is anybody still working on it?
Done.
Great.
I get my crimson rights.
Nice.
I'm just finishing up. Okay.
Fantastic.
I did take archery.
Nice. Any cool new spells you're picking up, Anila?
I picked up comprehend languages
Always solid, yeah.
and wait, where's my spell book? Can I not remember the other one? Featherfall.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I'm calling it. Zook's gonna fall down the hole off one of these balconies.
Right,
or
he's gonna
something
fall like
like
off the top of the tower.
that.
Detect
Oh,
magic.
so fade down. But little bunny go bye bye.
Okay. Well, all right, everyone. As you all
Also-
settle in, go ahead.
While everyone's sleeping, I would like to personally sneak over to the bed bunk closest to the bathroom, the one that started some shit with us, and use our acid vials.
Oh.
What exactly are you doing?
'Cause
Yeah.
you said all the bed bunks were screwed into the ground.
Yeah?
I'd like to melt those.
You'd like to melt the bolts?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and roll stealth. So, Red, a couple of the more observant cadets kind of look over towards you. What exactly are you doing as you make your way across the dorm?
Sort of just like crawling underneath the beds.
Okay. All right. So you see a couple of the more observant cadets kind of look over towards you. You can hear a couple of beds creaking. They look towards you. Nobody seems to be like too terribly interested, but a couple of them have noticed you crawling across the floor towards the bed near the bathroom.
Cool.
Okay. So you arrive there. The cadet who tried to get Zook's bunk, I believe her name was Vina.
Evil
Yeah,
bitch.
Cadet Vina. She is snoring loudly. Her shield and other gear laying haphazardly around on the floor nearby. You can tell she doesn't take very good care of it. But yeah, she's snoring loudly. She's out.
Nice. I'm gonna start melting bolts.
Okay. All right. So I will say that it'll take one full vial of your acid to melt the bolts that hold the bed down.
That's why I bought 2.
Okay. You have successfully melted the bolts on the bunk bed.
Alright, here's the tricky part. Red's not very strong, but I know in our group we have very strong people, right?
I believe that's a safe assumption.
So I go and I get one of them.
Do we have someone that's pretty strong?
Strength. I've got a 10.
And
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Sari would have been the best candidate for somebody strong.
Yeah, got a 14.
14?
nice.
Oh, okay. I go to Ziggy.
And I'm just like, what are we doing?
Red, by now there's like 5 or 6 cadets kind of watching you concernedly.
Is this
Sari will
common?
be saying very quietly, well, not quietly, just don't start shit, won't be shit.
Oh, come on,
Another ripping snore comes from Vina.
Ziggy. Ancient tradition, part of being a sailor. Hazing.
Tradition, you say? Very well. I will I will take part in material plane tradition.
Zook's knocked the fuck out.
What shall I do,
We're
red man?
gonna put her bed in the bathroom.
Oh.
You do realize
Is
that this is a bunk bed, right? There's 2 people on that bed.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I just take a look at it. I'm just like, I I carry a large sword, but I'm not pretty sure that this this is possible with the strength I have.
I mean, Sari will help, but she's just not gonna be 1 in 20 chance, guys. It sucks.
So we will do a group athletics check to pull this off. However many people Matthias can get on board to help him with this. Vina was a bully, so she
Is
has.
this the one that was bullying us in the hall?
It
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
is, Anila.
man.
So, as already having a reputation as a bully, nobody is really coming to Vina's assistance here. They're all kind of just, especially now that they see what you're doing, Red, they're all kind of just like pretending to be asleep. The ones that have noticed.
Could I do an acrobatics check?
Unfortunately, acrobatics doesn't really work for deadlifting a bed.
Well, I'm trying to hold the door open and move the bed at the same time.
Help actions, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, help actions.
Okay.
We are going for a group athletics check. We want a total.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Sari already knocked it out of the park.
Shit!
I'm sorry, aren't you a vampire?
Oh, here we go.
So-
Yay.
Ziggy and Ziggy and Sarah and Sari, you both lift the bed up so high that Red is lifted off the ground with it. And Anila, as you approach, you're reaching out to try and grab hold and lift it up, but they lift it up and out of your way, and you kind of just end up doing the thing where you've got like your hands on it, but you're not really lifting too much.
Nila's supervising. She's the wizard.
But
Red man.
you all do
Where
march
should we
the.
take
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Red man if where should we take her?
Bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bathroom. Because she was upset that her bunk was next to the bathroom. So I figured let's make it worse by putting it in the bathroom.
Right, Ziggy, you missed that. She went and tried to bully Zook out of his bunk because she got a bad bunk assignment and got throat kicked for her troubles.
Yeah, because Zook's a 4-foot tiny little rabbit. So.
All right, so yeah.
He is a small character.
So yeah, you all do manage to get the bunk into the bathroom, and at some point, the person on top kind of stirs around a little bit. When you see who it was actually one of the people that was backing up Vina. So one of her lackeys shares.
So
the
we
bunk
don't have to
with
feel
her.
bad. Good.
But he kind of stirs a bit up there, and like just kind of makes a little bit of noise, but ends up going back to sleep pretty quickly, rolling over. But yeah, you've successfully deposited the bunk into the bathroom.
Now she's where she belongs.
Bet we couldn't fuse it to the floor.
Well, my plan was if I fucked up the crab, she would have got really upset tomorrow morning.
Oh no. Took me a second.
Poison.
Would
Tactical
my
hell.
breath weapon melt the bed to the floor?
What kind of damage does it do? First off?
Necrotic.
No,
like,
I would
rust
not
it
say.
to the
I would
floor?
not say
Okay.
that it would. No.
Okay.
Need a
Oh,
good
we're
heat
just
metal.
not gonna fuse it to the wall, floor in the bathroom.
Yeah. She was mean to the bunny.
Oh.
We don't support animal abuse.
No, we do not.
Except when it's spider crab things.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Those aren't animals, those are appetizers.
Okay. The game makes note, it is customary on material plane, when you make introductions, you move someone's bed to bathroom respectively. I have much to learn about the material plane, but it is quite interesting.
Literal alien hanging out with you. It's like my favorite Martian. Oh, I ain't gonna watch that movie again.
I feel like some point Sarah's gonna look at me and be like, "So, you're weird looking. Why?"
Ah, a straightforward question, and I will answer straightforwardly. I am Gisurai, from the plane of Limbo, and I have here traveled to material plane to make contact with my long-lost brothers in astral plane.
Is that north of Water's Deep?
The water's deep, you say? Where is that? There are many waters that are very deep in chaos, deeper than
Oh,
one
God.
can fathom.
Okay, listen, she's not all that smart.
Ziggy starts getting all philosophical.
Yeah. But
She's
one
just
could
like, oh
say,
boy, are we lost?
one could say that in Limbo, the Githzerai do make things north of the deepest waters that one can fathom, and make sense of it, and make it not watery. This phrase "watery," am I using it correctly?
Sure,
It
sugar,
was-
why not?
Okay. I'm still learning ways of common. I did not have to use it very often in Limbo.
You didn't speak in Limbo? Is common not the language? That it's common, we all use it. That's why we call it common, because we all use it.
The Githzerai do not speak, but mostly we have a mental link with each other.
Oh, she's gonna respond directly into his head with, "Oh, we do that too."
Just psionic vibing.
Yes, he's psionic messy. Cool.
Much preferable than using our mouth flaps.
Ah,
Is that not how common works? You move mouth flaps and vocalize throat chords?
well, I mean, she doesn't really have lips, so
Oh.
she's not very flappy.
Okay. I have much to learn about how about the physiology of others.
It's not
Anyways.
cold out, River. It's 103 degrees out.
Anyways, let us make haste to our bunks.
Let us make haste to sleep.
The gnome under Sari is just praying.
Right. Right. So,
Please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall.
well, Ziggy. So Sari's a big girl, right? She's tall and imposing,
Yeah.
and got the top
She has
bunk,
the top
and
bunk.
below her is this little gnome, and Sari's bunk like sinks down, and it's like almost touching him under there. He's like curled up in the fetal position, like praying, like, "Oh God, oh God."
That
I
is
love
quite
it.
the image.
Big one. Honey, you don't have to wear a jacket. It is hot out.
All right, everyone. So, anyone else up to shenanigans this evening?
My character just was busy crafting himself a couple little items to help out later.
Okay.
You weren't watching us
What was
move
your
a hole.
He looked up and is wondering where one of the bunk beds went. He's just counting like, wasn't there another one here? One,
Nope.
two.
I just think it
We
was
did
the one like
traditional-
across the way and one over from Matthias, and he still didn't notice it getting removed and walked away.
Wow. I'm just gonna tell Matthias straight out, just like we did tradition to move the beds, as is introductory.
That's a very odd custom from the place you come from.
I was told it was material plane custom. Is it not?
I feel like
Not from anywhere I've known.
I
Not
feel
from
like
anywhere
the
I know.
rest of us are behind Ziggy, just like gesturing emphatically at Matthias.
Just like nix it, no.
It's like doing the cutthroat sign, like shut up.
He just looks at everyone just like, it just thinks, I don't want to know, and just puts his stuff aside and
Sari psionically tells him, "Don't ruin this for us."
Ixnay on the bed nay.
Baby, I see you.
he does call out outside and does tell the party that Well, of the things that I kind of crafted after today, I did also produce a bag of holding as well if we need it.
Nice.
I've already stuck some of the things that are not like immediately applicable to mine within in it, but if anyone cares to use it, we have it. And with that, he's going to go to sleep.
Okay. All right. So, eventually, things do settle down in the cadet quarters, and the rest of the evening passes uneventfully. You all can go ahead and take your long rest if you haven't already done so during your level up.
Luke's still alive.
Barely, right?
Sweet girl, you're okay.
Anila, do you know if you drag your token out onto the screen and click on it, you can just press a button to do your long rest automatically if you'd like to, or you can just do it manually, whichever you prefer.
I think she's using.
Well, I was
yeah.
doing it in D&D
D&D
Beyond,
Beyond,
so
right,
then
right.
I was like, yeah. So
Okay.
I was, see.
Do
Oh,
you
character
know?
sheets.
The Muffin
Okay, was
No.
I the only one that thought that too?
Man?
What?
The Muffin.
I'm sorry.
Somebody said, "Do you know the Muffin Man?"
Do you have to manually add the spells to the buttons at the top? Like they won't be there this time, right? Because you have to do it. You have to do it.
Specific
token
ones,
action?
yes. So, do you have spells now, Sari?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
I have to add spells into that. Okay.
Does that make Zook the only one without spells now?
I don't have spells either.
I like your
Okay.
jacket, baby, but it's too hot to wear today.
I have self-inflicted curses.
You, that's so
Spell
funny because
what?
that's what I refer to you as.
Oh no.
That's so
Man, guys, it's been great. It's been real fun playing with you all.
Okay, so Sari, we add the spells, take off all this extra stuff. Maybe the breath
almost
weapon will work this time.
Hey, it's okay. It's almost break time. We'll put you to bed. Chill out. Chill out. I only got 2.
No, it's fine. Once I set it up this first time, I won't have to set it up again.
Oh,
Longbow,
cool.
short sword, save, checks, and initiative, and that should be good.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and click off your token and click back to it, and let me know if there's anything on there that you. Oh, we probably don't need that psionic mind as a token action.
No, I just will say she's.
Okay.
Doing
Do you
stuff.
want breath weapon
No,
up there?
there it
Let's
is.
see if it even works. Hey, there it goes. It actually worked this time.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
and now
handy. I like
what
that.
you can do is you can click on that button that says spells. Yeah, exactly. And you can click on it from the chat bar to cast.
I like it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give myself back that spell slot.
Yeah. Accidental sleep cast of detect magic.
Hey, it's alright, sis.
All right, everyone. So the rest of the evening passes by uneventfully, and dawn begins to rise up over the Isle of Nimbrol. And with it, the first light breaks through into the windows and into the dormitory, and you all see a human cadet jump up out of bed and jump up onto his bed. He says, "It's morning! Finally! Today is the day, everyone!" And you see people just starting to throw pillows at him, and he's like ducking out of the way and jumping between bunks and everything. He says, "It's the official start of academy training! How are you all not hyped for this? Come on!"
Zook's gonna throw one of his candles at him.
Go ahead and make
I'm
a
just
ranged
gonna
attack.
imitate.
Arranged so, just a dex, so.
Red fangs him.
I feel like
Oh,
Sari might be not
20 plus.
smart enough to understand. She's gonna pick up something
I missed.
big.
It wing it and hit Matthias in the face. on accident.
Just the school trunk picks that up.
Getting hit with something is what wakes Matthias up since he spent his time working on stuff last evening. And he comes to with a start, stumbling and falling out of bed. Drawing his arcane focus as he falls, just sputtering.
As you see a candle
me.
as you see a candle rolling around on the floor. And Zook's got his blanket over his head, laying down like he's still sleeping.
So the kid jumps over towards the door, the bunk nearest the door, and he's standing on top of it. He's got his arms out still and everything. He's like, "Come on, everyone! No more orientation. We get our real crew assignments, and we actually get to really start doing missions. Aren't you all so excited?"
I don't know why you are. I am, because I'm gonna be good. You're gonna suck.
Oh. Burn.
Yeah, you
Easier.
see,
Zook's pissed because the way this guy woke everybody up.
he's like, I was okay. I did all right. I took out one bandit before they got me in the training thing. He hops down.
Well, that's one less bandit, I suppose.
Good for your enthusiasm, but you're an asshole for waking me up like that. And Zook just kind of like gets down, puts on the stupid red jacket.
All right. So as you're all beginning to get yourselves up and together, Sereth arrives in the doorway. The Astra elf that you all met during your spelljamming practice steps in, kind of looks around. He puts a foot out and stops the rolling candle rolling across the floor, kind of looks around. Wonderful to see that you are all enthusiastic. Be sure that you all get a good breakfast this morning. You're going to need it. Head over to the refectory and get yourselves a good meal, and then your orders will be delivered to you at your tables, and your official crew groups will be assigned. Enjoy your breakfast, everyone.
Well, simple enough.
Yeah.
Did anyone make sure to wake up the chick in the bathroom?
No.
What the hell? How? What? Oh, it stinks!
Aw, now your outsides match your insides.
Like, who did this? Who did it? And she comes storming out.
Are there little bunny presents there too?
Oh.
No, Zook had gone to the bathroom and noticed it and just crept in quietly. He did his thing and walked back out.
Oh, God! Sad smell! She's like walking out, trailing like a thing of toilet paper behind her on her boot. Oh, God! I'm gonna kill whoever did this!
Karma's a bitch.
She
Well,
narrows
because-
her eyes at you, Zook.
What? He just puts his hands up. What? I slept all night. It wasn't me.
How would a little bunny move your entire bed
Hell yeah.
with your
It's-
badonka-chonk in there?
I don't know how, and I don't know who. She looks back to Zook. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. And
Zook throws his hands up like it was it wasn't me.
You are
Just walk-
welcome. I just like pass by. I just like, you are welcome.
And
who
Zook
the
just
hell
gives you.
is this guy?
Just say that.
Zook just smirks at Ziggy.
Alright, everyone, so by the
Oh,
time
Zook's-
Dina's... Go ahead.
Zook's gonna look back at him and be like, just so you know, you probably don't want the people who are in power to find your bed in there. You might want to move it back. And he walks out the room.
Alright, so a few moments later, you all hear, like, dragging, like, "Eh!" She's just dragging her bed back all by herself.
You must feel honored to be member of, or target of, like, what's the word? How do you call it? What, hazing? Was what was told to me?
She kind of gives you, like, a
Very
confused...
tradition.
Like, a confused look, like... And then, like, realization dawns on her face. She's like... okay. I don't feel very honored.
But it is tradition among Material Plane, is it not?
You see her
If I
kind
were
of.
chosen,
Go ahead.
if I were chosen to be part of this tradition, it would make me feel very welcome indeed.
You see her kind of take a deep breath and let it out. Says, "Yeah, I suppose hazing is kind of a part of the way things go around here. I was kind of a dick to the little rabbit. I guess if it had been my friend that somebody did that to, I probably would have lashed out at them too. Well, and she starts dragging the thing again, makes a huge shrieking sound as it pulls across the ground.
Good luck, and see you in class.
She nods.
And I leave.
Right. So, by the time you all file into the dining area, into the refectory, most of the tables are already filled up. People are gathered with their training groups. Ziggy, you see your previous training group that performed abysmally in their orientation. If it hadn't been for you, they probably would not have made it past the first wave of bandits. But you see that that entire training group has been broken up and dispersed among the other training groups, much like yourself.
Okay, I have opened them.
And then you see one of your training group from your original training group is sitting at a table, and there is enough room for all 6 of you at said table. One of the only tables with enough, in fact, the only table with enough space for all of you.
Oh, lovely, awesome.
See, we're being forced.
I mean, you could all split up and sit separately if you want to. No one's stopping you.
But aren't we a whole unit? We have to stick together?
Mickens not with his unit, or the guy who was...
We don't know the name of yet?
Yeah, Ziggy would have learned the name before, but...
Well, in any case...
Zook's gonna bounce up and be like, oh, there's a table for all of us, guys! We should sit there!
Yeah.
Way
I
over
see no reason.
enthusiastically.
Has the optimism of the first person caught on to you?
Oh no. He just... It's food time. It's eating time.
Oh.
Yes, and we weren't told that we probably better make sure that we'd ate fairly well, so I'm inclined to think that they're probably going to have us rather busy today. So, let's have at it.
Yep, it's in order.
So as you all begin approaching the table, the young man kind of raises his hand. He's like, "Oh, hey, waving at you, Ziggy. Hi, good to see you again."
I salute back.
Yeah. And he tries to awkwardly repeat it. And so, you all take a seat with Mick and Haverstance. Mick greets you all. Hi. Wonderful to meet you all. So Ziggy, they broke up our training group. They said that there was the other groups that needed our talents more, and they put me in charge of a new one.
That must be an honor.
I'm
To be in
terrified.
charge. I believe in you. I know little of your talents, but I believe in you nonetheless.
Great. Thank you. Go ahead, Matthias. Were you gonna say something?
Perhaps as far as if you're unsure about something, what sort of talents do you have?
Says, I guess I'm kind of bookish. I guess I'm kind of book smart. I know my way around a sailing ship, and from what the instructors are telling me, it's gonna translate well into piloting a Spelljammer.
Ooh,
Well,
Pilots here.
pilot,
So,
yeah.
you're gonna pilot too. He looks towards you, Anila.
Oh
They
no, I
put
meant
me-
you are gonna pilot for us.
Oh no. I'm supposed to get my own training group. I'm meeting them in the simulation room later. The Bosun Tardo says that I'm supposed to lead them. She says it would be good for me.
Best advice that I can give is just kind of keep your eyes open, and also be aware where everybody in your body with your training group is, so that way y'all can look out for one another and actually support one another best. Because be it a rescue simulation, combat simulation, what have you, it's the people you're with are the ones that you're gonna have to rely upon to survive with.
Yeah.
Another thing of advice is don't let your mind wander. Be specific with your task.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think that might be what went wrong with our training group earlier, is that everyone was kind of just all over the place. They didn't really have much of a focus, except for you, Ziggy. You seemed to know what you were doing out there, but the rest of us, we were kind of all over the place, running around, not really helping each other out.
I have been trained in concentration for many eons. My only advice for you is don't die.
Yeah, thanks.
I will not be there again to get you back up.
Matthias is just thinking, dear Lord, that was terrible advice.
The advice was solid. The delivery, eh.
Is that not? He kept on falling down, and I kept bringing him back up.
Yeah.
It is something to work on.
So,
try not to fall down again.
It looks like our orders are getting passed down. And as he's saying that, literal slips of paper are getting passed down through the groups, and you can see each of them has names on them, and eventually they get to your names, and they haven't been your group is just been designated as training group 4A. And
For a what?
Thank you. Yeah. And so Micken gets his, and then you see a bunch of other cadets around the area beginning to get their orders. And you see a few other cadets beginning to make their way over towards your table and to Micken, introducing themselves to Micken. They are going to be his team, and he says, "Oh, do you all have your orders?" He kind of looks around. One of the cadets is like, "This is the guy that's supposed to lead us," and he kind of looks around towards the rest of you all, takes a deep breath, says, "Yes, I'm going to be the captain of our training group. Bosun Tardo thought that it would be best that I took charge of this new training group since our last one didn't really work out." And he seems to have been encouraged by your words, maybe a bit nervous about Ziggy, but otherwise very much encouraged, taking your advice to heart. He begins repeating some of the advice that you just gave him to his new people. He kind of looks back and gives you all like a little thumbs up. And then you all hear magically amplified coming in over the it's almost like an intercom system, just magically amplified voices coming in throughout the refectory, and they begin naming groups. So you'll hear like Team 1C versus Team 3D, and it goes on like that. And you all hear Team 4A against Team 6D, and Micken holds up his sheet, and he looks over towards you all. I guess we'll be seeing you guys later.
Greg immediately bites his wrist and spit on his blade as lightning begins to crackle over his skewer.
I just put a shoulder on his hand. I just put a hand on his shoulder and just be like, "I am so sorry, but we shall show no mercy."
We shall show no mercy. He's like backing away and shrinking down the whole time he's saying it.
You are learning. I just turned back to the team.
All right. So as you do that, Micken gets up and says, "I think we should start training, guys. What do you think? I think we should start talking about our." And he starts walking away with the rest of his flight, with the rest of his new flight team.
Aw.
He shows lots of promise.
He's just a polished turd.
Good lord.
Zook's just
look.
like trailing off.
Look, he has not done anything to deserve to be deposited in the same room as the elf who, for some weird reason, had her bunk bed in the toilet.
I guess you're right.
Guys, do you not realize we put her bunk bed in the toilet? Sweetheart.
Y'all
Is
did?
that not what she wanted?
I didn't know that. I was busy working on stuff.
I gave her words as she was dragging it back to original location.
Well, let's face it, it's not the strangest thing we've seen here. So I just wasn't questioning it.
All right. As you're all finishing up your meals, you all see a rather jovial-looking Gif enter the room. He's wearing mechanic's clothing, and he kind of takes a look around.
Oh my god.
Breakfast is over, recruits! Report to your stations! Report to the simulations deck and prepare for your training to commence in earnest! Congratulations, everyone, for making it this far.
I love these portraits.
So
Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
The pictures are so good.
What are you chanting?
Oh, pot of...
Yeah.
From session 1.
There
We
was
murdered
there
him.
was pirates coming, and their captain was named Potamus the Vast. He was a very, very large Gif. All right, everyone. So after Petty Officer Ryback comes in, breaks up breakfast, and sends you all scattering across the academy on your way, we'll go ahead and take our break. And when we get back, to the stars.
Woo!
Awesome.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right, everybody. So welcome back. As you all begin to get up and begin to clear out from the dining area, let's go ahead and let's have. You can each make a check right now. You can either choose to make a perception check to listen to the gossip and the talk going on, or a charisma investigation to openly ask about things that are going on.
Don't hear shit. My rolls are garbage today.
Hold on, I don't know what I'm good at.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute, let me double check.
I have
didn't think
expertise
any
in
of
perception, and I still only rolled an 8.
Nice.
these. Oof.
Wow, we're not okay today, guys.
Yeah.
No, wait, whenever you say charisma investigation, what do you mean by that?
You would roll a charisma check, and then if you have proficiency in investigation, you can add your proficiency to the charisma check.
So it'd be a 1d20 plus your charisma plus proficiency if you're proficient.
Okay, so basically a 1d20 plus my proficiency bonus, which...
Are you proficient in investigation?
Yes I am.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah. So
And your charisma's a 10?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So let me do a d10. So let me do the charisma check, and then we'll just add two to that. Wrong one. That's...
Right, and Danilo, would you like to make a either perception or charisma investigation?
You're our last hope.
Well,
16.
These are pretty miserable things. So,
Okay. Okay, so with the volume and the pure chaos of everybody getting up and excitedly beginning to rush to different portions of the academy, you don't pick up on much. Red, your question is laughingly answered as you pass of what's the life expectancy of an actual Spelljammer crew, and you hear one of the cadets or one of the graduates that's passing by in the hall. hear your question and say, "Oh, about 4 out of 5 ships make it back. It's not bad." Aside from that, there's quite a bit of rumor going around. People are talking and chatting about the thefts that have been happening lately. You keep hearing Petty Officer Rybeck getting brought up as a target of the most recent theft. You don't hear any details about it though. Big hippo man that you just met.
I got it. Yeah, Matthias just does not think that'd be the one he'd want to try to steal from, because if you get caught, it looks like he could snap you in half.
He's a very large individual. All right. So, your orders have you all meeting in the simulations deck immediately after breakfast. You all will be the first crew to take to the deck today.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
All right. So, as you all make your way down there onto the simulations deck, you arrive at the same time as another team of cadets. Micken and his group of 5 others. You essentially come from opposite ends of the hallway and you have to walk towards each other, and then the door to the simulations deck is in between the two groups.
Is the over enthusiastic guy from this morning with them?
No, he is not. Alright, so Micken arrives at the door in front of you all, and you all kind of get to either side of the door at the same time. He says, good luck, everyone. May the best team win today. I'm sure we'll all do our very best. Right,
I
crew?
hope so.
Turns back, and they all just, yeah.
He's
Well.
doing fine.
Can I bite
Well-
my inner cheek and add my crimson right to my fangs?
Oh, jeez.
Sure, yeah.
For not a barbarian, Sari is going to be like, yeah, let's do this!
Micken, visibly recoils.
Zook just walks by him and just gives him, a smirk. Like, you're fucked.
Show no
all-
mercy.
All Sari's got is, miles of teeth.
So what'd you do, Red?
Oh, so anytime I activate my crimson right, I have to hurt myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there's a bit of blood just dripping from his fangs as his fangs begin to glow with lightning.
Nice.
One of the cadets
That is-
on Micken's team, a plasmoid, kind of jellies his neck and extends it around to look up over Micken's shoulder. He's like, whoa!
Oh, that is strange.
That was so cool, dude! His
Yeah,
words aren't forming properly. His mouth is kind of just like a slit in jello that opens and closes while he talks. A pair of black dots have formed where the eyes should be. This slime man's like, did that hurt when you did that, man?
Not as much as it will hurt you when I eat you.
Oh,
Oh.
lame!
I don't know what that is, but I want one.
Zook just looks at Red and is like, guess you're not as intimidating as you thought you were in size.
Micken
Don't
is
taunt the
shaking.
chef.
And then I just stare back at Mick and just be like, remember what we told you. Show no mercy, for we shall not do this.
The plasmoid pulls back around Micken and comes around to the other side, and he's like, yeah, no mercy!
He sounds like the turtle from Finding Nemo.
Crush. We shall name him Crush.
Yeah, that was the name. Yes, thank you.
We
Zook's just gonna whisper to whoever's next to him that he's gonna stab the plasmoid guy first.
Oh. Are we the baddies?
Sorry to burst your bubble, but
Are
this
we the
plasmid already
drama?
has a name.
It's not. It's not Jello.
It's not Jello.
Or Crush.
So he hears you. He's like, "It's not my name, bro. I'm Fred."
Fred.
No. You gotta say it. You gotta say it right, man. It's Fred.
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 That's Crush's.
Fred.
That's Crush's kid.
Fred.
Closer, man. You're getting there. Good job.
Sari's trying to figure out how to blow raspberries and say Fred at the same time.
So looking
Fred.
over at Mickens' orders, you can see that Fred's name is PFFRED.
Wow.
Clap.
Fred.
Fred.
So, as you all make your way onto the simulations deck, you can see that today's training officers are already there waiting for you. Sereth Abazin and Bosun Tardo stand in the center of the empty simulations deck. A few members of the other squad murmur excitedly between themselves, but a quick glare from Bosun Tardo quiets all of them quite thoroughly. Sereth scans the conversation with their silver eyes. Stern gaze shifts to a wide grin, says, "Well, this is certainly going to be fun. Now, each team of cadets must assign crew roles to its members. This particular training exercise has 2 optional roles: captain and shipmate, and 1 mandatory role of Spelljammer.
Oh.
A team can have multiple shipmates, but only 1 captain and only 1 Spelljammer. Now, you may all decide amongst yourselves what roles you would like to take."
What is the
would
prerequisite?
navigation be?
So they would explain that the captain role, team member who assumes that role, is expected to give orders to the other crew, who is in turn expected to follow said orders. A shipmate, a team member in this role, operates the training ship's rigging and shipboard weapons. The ship's captain can switch to this role if necessary. Essentially, you'll be firing the ballista, the catapults, firing from off the side of the ship if that is something that you wish to do. And of course, the Spelljammer role is a mandatory role, and a team member with this role pilots the training ship using its Spelljammer helm. So there's a little bit more information about the roles here.
Okay.
So the Spelljamming helm requires a keen mind and, of course, a magical talent. It does have to be a character with the ability to cast spells, and the character with a good handle on that spellcasting ability is best for this role. So, in mechanical terms, whoever has the highest spellcasting modifiers and the highest score in that regard is generally speaking going to be your best shot for your Spelljammer.
Everyone just looks at Anila.
Hey, I guess I'm Spelljammer.
I think it probably wound up either being her, Matthias, or Ziggy. And Ziggy,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, depending upon how much.
Yeah, my modifier is only a +3.
I don't
Yeah.
have one.
Spell attack.
Matthias, why don't both of us train with it?
Well, I know both of us have gone through training for it. I just know that one of us has to have.
We can only have one right now.
Yeah, we only
Yeah.
have one
Yeah,
at the
we-
moment. So
Anilla.
if you want to take it, that's fine. If you prefer for me to, that's fine as well. I'm good either way.
Are you both +4?
For
My
Which-
spell. What is your spellcasting? What's your spellcasting modifier? Like your.
Yeah, Noah's 4.
I mean,
You
like
are-
to attack.
No, it would just be the modifiers,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the
Yeah.
modifiers.
Plus-
It might
Sorry.
be. Mine's a +3.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Anila.
Yeah, so Anila is the
It's also a +3.
Oh.
Okay, so it's tied. So yeah, you can both definitely trade off, especially between missions. Doing so in the middle of flight will be tricky.
Okay.
But yeah, Sereth does point out that to you that you can switch between missions or mid-mission if you're disembarking to do something, but you do need to stay pretty focused on the Spelljammer itself, on piloting the ship. It's not really something that you can just immediately step away from. All right. So you can all see that Micken has taken the captain role, and Fred is the ship's Spelljammer. You see him kind of wandering around up there, and as he doesn't walk, more like his bottom section is just this flat amorphous thing that kind of like snails its way across the deck. And he makes his way to the spelljamming helm, and you see him take a seat. Now, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but once you've all assigned your roles and gotten that all figured out, Bosun Tardo surveys the assembled crews and takes a long pull on her cigar. All right then, looks like all of you are ready to get underway.
Zook
So-
asks if he can have one of her cigars.
Tell you what, you get back here in a timely and impressive manner. I'll give you one of my cigars as a reward.
He's like, you got it.
You see her
And
lip
he
kind of
goes and
curl, like,
And he walks to where he thinks the ballistas are going to be at.
So as you're walking, Bosun Tardo, each crew is to navigate their ship through a debris field on the outskirts of Koliar, a sodding big gas giant out there. There, you're to salvage a captain's logbook from the wreckage of an abandoned ship and then return to your starting point with your own ship intact. Tardo levels a steely eye and says with a glare as she looks through all of you, intact, not first. Get the mission done well, not quick. Is that understood?
Oh, sure.
We're playing Capture the Flag.
Yes,
Tardo looks towards
yeah.
you and says, it's not a game, cadet. These are real stakes and you should treat them as such.
Understood.
Harry looks like she just got smacked.
Aw.
So, once you've all been assigned your roles and Bosun Tardo gets you all set up, Sereth then steps forward and you see him kind of stand in the middle of the simulation deck and begin an incantation. And then Master Blip enters the room and he hands one piece of parchment to your group, and then he walks over to Micken and hands that team a piece of parchment. And it looks like a crude map of a solar system with kind of just like general point A and point B things attached to it. It's not a very detailed map, but it shows the route to your destination. It's a crude, and then attached to that piece of paper is a crude sketch of the logbook that you're supposed to retrieve. Who has that map? Who would Mr. Blip hand it to?
Would a
Siri
survival
does have navigational proficiencies.
Theory.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Sereth then steps back from the platform, holds their palms outward, and begins this incantation. And the sigils scrawled along the walls and floors of the simulation deck begin to glow brightly, intensifying as the training officer weaves their powerful illusion. As Sereth's doing that, Micken waves to you guys, "Good luck, guys!" And Sereth says, "Good luck indeed, cadets, and don't be afraid. Though these illusions are realistic, thanks to my arcane prowess, they are just that, illusions." blue-white lines begin to form around all of you, etching the shape of a ship deck around the platform upon which you stand. The room then melts away amid an explosion of colors, textures, and sounds that place you on the deck of a ship that is shaped much like a gigantic hammerhead shark.
Oh, wow.
The ship is situated in the skydock atop the Spelljammer Academy, clouds filling the sky up overhead. Now, as the illusion begins, Serth steps out onto what now appears to be the skydock below your ship and says, "Good luck, everyone. You may take to the skies and begin your mission at your leisure." So,
Nice.
Anila, when you are ready to take off, I will need you to make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. So just an intelligence check.
Can that be guidanced?
Yeah, of course. That would totally
You are
track for
guided.
you to have prepared a guidance for that. Okay, go ahead and roll the d4. Fantastic. So, Anila, you can feel your mind beginning to link up with the ship. You can feel the bow and stern, the various different parts. You can feel the wind rustling over and across it. And as you're attuning to the ship, you all begin to feel the ship beginning to, like, very lightly vibrate as the magics that allow it to take to the skies begin to activate. And Anila, it is a very unique experience. You feel like the ship is an extension of yourself, and as you can get that feeling and it really locks into place, you will the ship skyward. And much like you were just kind of leaping off of a standing position, you can feel the ship begin to move with you, with your mind, and the ship takes to the sky immediately. Let's see how Mickey does.
Well, Fred.
Right, Fred.
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 Okay.
Piper.
Oh, look at that.
Micken's ship, piloted by Fred, takes off directly behind you all. You have both succeeded on taking to the sky on your first attempt. And the Isle of Nimbrawl quickly begins to disappear beneath your ship. The ship passes through clouds until the spectacular void of wild space comes into view.
Nice.
So, you break through the cloud cover, make your way up and out into wild space for the first time, and Anila, you can feel the ship. It is essentially an extension of yourself right now, and you know your general direction, and yeah, you all are free to move about the cabin.
Oh.
You all can see the blueprints of the hammerhead ship that you're on up on the top left there. That's basically how we'll do it. How we'll do it if we're not fighting on the ship at the moment. You'll get this blueprint so you can kind of say where you're at, what you're doing, all that good stuff when you're on board the ship. And you can see that very quickly Micken's ship begins to branch off from yours. Your two objectives appear to be in opposite directions.
That or I've got the map upside down.
Oopsie doopsie.
I'm gonna take a spot in the crow's nest.
Fantastic.
I'm in here.
All right. So, you all, as you make your way up into wild space, you can see that the ship does not appear to be fully manned. As you're taking a look around, you can see that the catapult seems to take 3 entire actions to activate. The ballista along the back equally as long. And as you're all beginning to make your way around and question how you're going to crew the ship, suddenly about a dozen, a little bit less, I would say about 9 crew members magically begin to rise up out of the deck. They're mainly formless, They're just vague outlines of people, and they begin to go about the general busyness of the ship, clearing the deck, making sure that the rigging is done properly, all of these general minutiae of being aboard the ship. These 9 crew members begin to work out for you.
Whoa,
Ooh.
fancy.
Zook's gonna be in the armory.
Have we decided the other roles?
It appears as if the main ones are captain and various shipmates. Then,
Yeah.
Assuming the
What if
captain
Captain-
needs good. Captain
Yeah.
probably needs good persuasion and intimidation.
Persuasion, yeah.
I've got a 3 in persuasion, but it's Zook.
Captain Zook.
Captain Zook. Oh my god.
So
That'd
the
be
captain,
fun.
the captain role is not necessary. It is optional. We can't really dive too heavily into the actual ship mechanics yet because we simply don't have them yet.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, I toyed around with a while with using the Esper Genesis rules, but I don't want to show you all
Yeah, but-
one way of doing this and then a week from now throw it all out and use whatever's new. So we're gonna do the ship piloting pretty abstract right now. Once we get the rule books, after seeing the table of contents, the rules for flying the ship and what the rules for interacting with the ship do not seem dense. They seem like it all fit on like half a page from what I could tell from the table of contents. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be too dense, and once we get those rules and get them into the game, at that point we can all look at it together and see if there's anything we want to add. I'll go over the Esper Genesis ship combat rules, which are very good, and see what from that we want to borrow, if anything. And then if the official 5e Spelljammer ship rules aren't as crunchy as we would like, we can add to it as we see fit.
So, did the crewmen come out of the ship? Is that what you said? Like they
Rose up out of the decks, right?
Okay. Sari's gonna ask the pretty ship if it can I have a spyglass, please? Because she is trying to direct them. And then a little to the left. Does the ship give her a spyglass, or does it just like?
Oh,
ignore
sorry.
her?
Sorry, I thought somebody else was
Okay,
saying.
it's
I thought somebody else said something. So yeah, as you ask that, one of the illusory crewmates would approach you and hold out what looks like a little cloud in the shape of a spyglass.
Thanks, sugar. She
Does
gonna
it
take
actually work?
Once you take it, it solidifies into a real, substantial, usable spyglass.
Awesome.
Holy crap.
This is my favorite place in the whole world.
Let's just stay here forever.
All right, everyone. So, Sari, you are taking the lead on the navigation.
If no one objects.
What's your?
Yeah.
Is it a survival check?
It is, in fact, a survival check.
Got a +5 to it. What do you got?
+4.
So we are going to do a group check for this.
Go ahead.
There are several options. There is Wisdom Survival. We don't have a captain, so we can't do the Charisma Persuasion check unless somebody wants to take on the captain role.
You can persuade space to like straighten for you.
No, it's more like you're talking your crew up, getting everybody on the same page, making sure everybody's working together and organized.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like, wait a minute. If this is like a survival check, you're using charisma for that?
Right, so everybody
Bending
takes...
space to your will?
That would be nice. I feel like that would be more of like a Constitution save. But I digress. So various different roles can use different checks. For example, like the captain would do the persuasion check to get the crew in order. Navigator does the survival check to get everybody onto course. General shipmates can do strength and dexterity checks to help get the ship quickly aligned into the right direction, get it on course accurately and quickly, following the directions of people like the navigator. And then Anila, we need either an intelligence investigation check or a wisdom survival check specifically from you to make sure that we stay on course. And then we'll add all that up, average it out, and we'll see if you succeed.
Cool.
So everybody makes a check. Anila, yours is specifically intelligence investigation or wisdom survival. Everybody else can choose between the options that I listed. And Sarah, yours would be wisdom survival as well. Nice.
You said dex or strength just for like moving stuff around?
Yeah, just for general work on the deck. Nice.
Well, mine sucked.
Oh no, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Alright, where's Zook?
Not
Fantastic.
I'm gonna take that 18.
Okay, I was about to say our average just tanked.
I'm gonna take the 18.
Okay. So,
Let's not waste the only nat 20 I rolled tonight, guys.
Dude, I'm rolling like crap
Fantastic.
today.
okay, so Sari, you are able to very quickly and accurately plot a course using your spyglass and the local stars, the other planets that are around. You're able to plot a course pretty effectively and pretty quickly. And Anilo, once Sari relays the orders to you, you are able to very quickly align the ship into the direction and get everybody going. Matthias and Zook. Oh, awesome, Sari. So using the crayon directions, Anila is able to get us onto course in the right direction with ease. Zook, you used your 18, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Matthias and Zook are rushing around the deck. Matthias and Ziggy are rushing around the deck, trying to get things in order, trying to get things stowed away so you can get up to spelljamming speed without any risk or any damage. You both trip over each other, sprawling across the deck. Zook ends up jumping over you both and taking care of securing the things that you were trying to. But
See, in my head, Ziggy and I were wandering around, and Ziggy turned, and that giant sword in the sheath just came and got me in the legs. Tangled us up.
Just bumped you accidentally.
Nice.
Fun times. Fun times.
Okay. So, once everything is stowed away and your course is plotted in, and Neela gets you all heading in the right direction, you quickly accelerate to spelljamming speed. You can see yourselves moving at incredible speeds. Before you began this means of travel, you were moving at maybe 20 to 30 miles, 20 to 30
Knots.
Not.
Space knots.
No, it's so the ship can move while not at Spelljammer speed up to 35 feet per 6 seconds. It has a movement speed of 35 feet. So I don't know what that would translate to miles per hour or kilometers per hour, but
What about the speed in AU?
yep. See, I feel like the distance and the speed units are something they're going to give us in the book, and we just haven't gotten them yet.
Okay.
But
Parsecs.
We were going at a relatively fast speed.
and now you are racing through the
1.77
cosmos.
miles.
What was that?
Oh, never mind. I calculated wrong. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I would actually like to know.
How many feet are in a mile?
23 miles per hour.
Oh, that's
Little
not
over.
bad.
Almost close to 24.
That's not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, we'll call it 25 miles per hour that you all move at your regular speed. Once your course gets locked in, you rush forward. You can see the stars passing by. It's much like that, John. It's very much like a warp type of speed that you get up to. Racing through the stars. And Sari, with your 25, you can tell that the journey shouldn't take you more than a few hours to get to. Maybe 3 hours tops. Granted, of course, you don't run into any complications on the way.
Why would we run into complications? That's ridiculous.
It's bound to happen.
I saw that Astro Dreadnought token in the top right corner.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the threat token is what that is. Zook found out already. It's the It's
Fuck
the
around, find out token.
yeah, exactly.
And of course,
it's the fuck
Zook's the
around
one that
find
went down too.
out. Okay.
Listen, I have 140 arrows I can use.
Okay. So, Anila, as you're racing through wild space, you begin to feel a presence out in front of you. The sensation is interesting. It's almost like you can feel a large obstruction out ahead. Impossible to pinpoint exactly what it is, but you can tell that the ship is beginning to slow in anticipation of approaching some sort of obstacle ahead.
Okay, let's see if I can dip below it.
Okay. Go ahead and go ahead and make a check with your spellcasting ability.
Okay.
Fantastic. So, Anila, as you're beginning to navigate your way below and around this, you can tell that the obstruction is simply too large to get all the way around. You can almost taste ozone as you begin to focus more on what this is, almost like an electrical storm.
Okay, I'm going to message Matthias. And we're approaching something that I can't get around. Advise.
Ring the alarm.
Do I have an alarm or something to ring?
There would be a bell on the deck.
Okay. I ring it and tell everybody. Does Neil tell me that it's some sort of electrical phenomenon or?
No, just that it's too large.
Okay.
To go around.
All crew members, there's an obstruction ahead that the ship is slowing down for. Be advised to be prepared for evasive action if needed.
All the illusory crew members begin buttoning things down and taking bracing positions. Go ahead, Zook.
Zook's gonna run up and be like, "Can we destroy it?"
Sari wants to look with her spyglass, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we should be able to see it.
you all are moving extremely fast. But Sari, as you look through your spyglass, you can see what looks like a tiny little cloud out in front of you. You can see it flashing, a lot like one of those cotton ball clouds with the lights in it, and it's just flashing.
This was not on the map.
And as you're looking at it, Sari, it suddenly rushes into view, and a massive cloud appears above all of you as the ship slows all the way down to its 25-mile-per-hour speed, which feels like almost a full stop after how quickly you all were moving. And you look up, and Anila has managed to pilot you underneath what appears to be a massive gathering of enormous eels.
Oh god.
Are they familiar eels?
Each one appears to be about 3 times the length of your ship, and there is at least 3 to 4 dozen of them moving around. From your position underneath them, you can tell that if Anila had not decided to take the evasive action and try to avoid this cluster, you probably would have found yourselves among these eels instead of below them.
Good job, Anila.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, as these eels fly and almost swim through wild space above you, you all begin to see the telltale signs of lightning strikes. A massive electrical storm follows these eels as they move through, and you all begin to hear the thunder striking. Just as one of the eels passes by overhead, its tail just over the top of your ship, it discharges a bolt of lightning that strikes down and strikes the ship, starting a fire.
Oh no.
As you all move below the below the storm, several more eels begin to discharge their electricity. They lance around and about the deck. Luckily, you do not need to worry about avoiding the eels themselves, but these fires will need to be dealt with. How do you all do so?
One sec, let me check.
Is there any like repositories of water in here, or like ways to snuff it out? Sand?
I have a water skin.
Nah.
The only barrel we brought was the barrel of arrows.
Shoot it!
the fire.
So, Ziggy, why don't you go ahead... So, do you ask the crew what kind of firefighting equipment you have available?
Yes.
Okay. So, doing that, they begin to rush around and show you towards one of the rooms on the main deck, and it does have some firefighting equipment in there. It has what looks to be some sort of almost like a foam, like it looks like a little foam ball. You would know that throwing one of those into a fire has extinguishing properties, much like a fire extinguisher contained in a little sphere.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's a few
Nice.
of those.
Let's grab them and distribute them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
distributing the firefighting gear across, you will all have advantage on your rolls going forward. So it's much the same as what we did for the navigation. Everybody can make a roll. The Spelljammer would, again, intelligence or wisdom, perception, or arcana. The rest of you have the options to choose from before. Wisdom survival to be able to get at the flames extinguished quicker. A charisma persuasion to help keep things organized. Strength athletics, dexterity acrobatics to move about the deck and quickly do the work.
Right, so I could add Arcana this time?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I heard acrobatics. I was like, yep.
So 16, 29, 15, 6. That is definitely a success.
Yeah, I gotta still roll mine.
Okay.
Well, fuck it up.
Well, it depends. The dice gods give, the dice gods take away.
And they take.
Right, that we call that a jinx from Ziggy. Okay, so 20.
Cards are supposed to bless us, not curse us.
16,
I'm accidentally
19,
Captain
and
Bane.
3. That's gonna fuck the curve.
I don't mind taking the sessional to try to.
You
make
succeed.
this
You do
better.
still succeed.
Yeah.
You all got 13.3 something. So that is a
okay.
success. So how do you all go about putting out the fires with your checks?
Zook's just bouncing one from one wall to the other, grabbing buckets or water or fire extinguishers and just bouncing off walls, spraying whatever he can.
Nice.
I am analyzing the spread of the fire and finding key points where it will be most effective.
Nice.
Sari is stopping, dropping, and rolling through fire.
Through fire.
Through fire.
There's something about smothering the fire, right?
Exactly.
With my grand score of a 3, I attempt to stomp it out, and it hits a weak.
Hold on, you
Part
said
of
we
the
had advantage,
wad.
so he doesn't even need to use his
Oh,
session.
that is
No, no,
correct.
no.
That is correct. I
Oh.
forgot completely about that. Yep.
Then in that case, I toss one of the little extinguishing things in there with exceptional aim to put one out.
Nice.
Okay.
Go team.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
Are Dragonborn cold-blooded?
I don't
Or
believe
are they-
so.
Okay. Sorry,
They're
could-
They're considered humanoid, so I don't think so.
I don't know. They got a lot of stuff humans don't.
True. I'm gonna Google that.
Ooh,
All right,
sorry.
everyone. So, once the fires are put out, Anelia, you're able to navigate a course around and away from these enormous electric space eels. And before long, you are all back at your travel at your spelljamming speed, zipping once more through the stars.
I will add the cloud of eels to the map.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Do the clouds of eels move around?
They seemed like they were moving at a very slow pace. Kind of
Okay.
like so enormous that their pace is hard to kind of lock down.
Are we labeling them the danger noodles?
Oh no.
The nope ropes. Spicy
the
nope ropes. Spicy
On our
nope
map, right there. Spicy nope rope.
I always thought electricity was more fizzy than spicy.
Oh, fizzy. I like that. You're right, yeah.
Oh,
Fizzy nope
yep.
ropes.
Fizzy noodles.
Fizzy noodles. That's what's on there, fizzy noodles.
Nice. Bosun Tardo's gonna be like, what is a fizzy noodle?
You know, a fizzy noodle. It's a noodle that goes fizz.
It's a proprietary dish made by Brad.
Oh god, that'd be real hard to cook.
Well, I mean, what is it? Oh man.
Spaghetti
The
with pop
eel,
rocks.
Eels is sushi. Like there's actual sushi, like eel.
Unagi.
Unagi.
Yeah, unagi.
Yeah, unagi. There we go. Or, I thought unagi was the urchin.
No, it's eel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's eel.
Okay.
I
But
think
yeah.
it's
How
super
big are
weird
these
that no
fish
one
eels?
knows how eels mate.
Oh, they do know. Well, they do know sort of now. They realize that some eels that they thought were different species are actually the larvae.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So they figured it out.
They figured it out.
It took
Awesome.
a long time.
Really long time.
Yeah, we still haven't been able to really track some eels and how they end up in different places and look different.
So weird. I love it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I'm apparently going to do more space eels now since y'all seem so interested in them.
I'm stuck on the idea of a pop rocks like spaghetti now.
Fizzy noodles.
Alright, so back up at spelljamming speed, zipping past the planets and stars. You begin to approach the spot on the map where the crashed ship is supposed to be. And Neela, you begin to feel that same sensation of something coming up, but this time you're aware of it. You're aware that there is an asteroid field, a very large debris field that surrounds this crashed ship. You can feel your vessel closing in on that space now.
Start to slow down.
Okay.
And see if I can bring our ship alongside of it.
Fantastic. So, sensing this debris field out ahead of you all, you do begin to slow down and come to a nice even stop in front of an asteroid cluster. You arrive at a safe destination outside of this cluster as they drift around through space. But you do know that the ship that you seek is located at the center of this cluster of asteroids. Reaching that ship safely means navigating carefully through this field.
You got it, Anilla.
All right.
So this is going to be another group check from everybody. This is a team effort for this one. So, Spelljammer, we can do Intelligence or Intelligence Arcana, if you would like.
Okay.
And then everybody else's checks, you have the same options.
Are we still going at advantage or no?
No, not right now.
No.
I'd like to
you
use my
want-
sessional.
Okay. I'm giving myself guidance.
This is gonna be
Can
rough
we-
and bad.
Wait, so can I use survival? Oh. Lovely. And then the
Okay,
guidance.
that wasn't bad.
Oh, Ziggy, I'm sorry.
On.
Only one character gets to use a survival check.
Okay. That's what I asked.
Yeah, sorry.
Boop boop boop.
Well,
I'm taking that sessional.
Okay. Fantastic. So, making excellent speed, going at an excellent pace, keeping everything nice and tight on the ship, you all manage to navigate through with ease. And not long after heading into that asteroid field, you approach the wreckage of a flying ship. This one appears to be in the shape of a sardine, almost like a long, slender fish ship. It has been torn apart by celestial debris.
This is a derelict ship.
It is. So,
Bro.
you can see the wreckage is surrounded by a silvery dust, particles of some kind that are emanating from the ship, almost like a keg of something exploded or broke loose, sending these small silvery dust particles drifting about the ship, floating along its gravity plane, kind of making a little spherical cloud around the ship. It does make visibility difficult. With the derelict in view, what do you all want to do? Just a reminder, your objective is to locate the captain's logbook aboard this derelict.
Attempt to board.
Yeah.
Boarding crew. Boarding
Yeah.
crew.
Okay. Yeah. Let us board.
Okay. So, Anila, you bring the ship up alongside the derelict?
Yep.
Fantastic.
I anchor it.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, you're able to set the crew to anchoring your ship off of one of the nearby asteroids, keeping you in place. As you'll approach, you can see that most of the ship's hull has been blasted away. There's not a whole lot available as far as walking space. So yeah, how do you all board?
Was it the asteroids that destroyed the ship, or does it look like something attacked it?
Make a perception check.
Oh. Okay, hold on.
Zook would like to also.
Check. Perception.
Okay.
Well,
While these guys are doing that, can I start attaching the rope to the harpoon and shoving that in the harpoon gun?
Sure, yeah.
Do we need any special equipment to get out there?
That's really up to you. It's a lot like jumping into an ocean. Once you get past the ship's gravity plane, you're free float. You're on the float. There's no gravity past the 30 feet just outside of your ship.
How far away are we from the ship if we're trying to sit next to it?
I would say probably 30 feet, keeping your own gravity plane from overlapping with its.
So it's 30. Our gravity field's 30 feet out, and then we're another 30 feet from it because of their gravity field.
I would say their gravity field is smaller since it's a much smaller ship. Theirs probably only extends about 10 feet around the ship.
Okay, so we're about 40 feet away.
Is there? Here's a question I have: is there any solid railing or anything of that still on the other ship?
Yes, in tattered pieces, like interrupted railing, I would probably call it.
Zook's gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
If I utilize a catapult spell with my grappling hook with rope attached, would it be possible to attach to any piece of that railing?
Yeah, I would say make a ranged spell attack.
Zook's gonna attempt
Well,
to. Sorry.
Okay, well, okay. The thing with the catapult spells, it's usually a saving throw.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but the ship doesn't really save against you. It's more your skill. We're using it in a very unique way. So
this is why I was asking, because I was like, I want to make sure that
right.
I do
So
this properly.
using it in this way, I would say make a ranged spell attack. I'll call the target DC probably a 12, and then yeah, if you can do a ranged spell attack and get over 12, you can secure it with your catapult. Just burn the spell slot for it when you do.
Nice.
Okay. What I'm going to do is just for starters, I'm just going to click on catapult at the moment, just so we have it up.
Okay.
And of course, there's no damage involved.
Right.
But as far as I do have an enhanced arcane focus as one of the infusions I have, so that should be a +6.
Okay.
To the roll, so I'll just roll a d20, then we add 6.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yes, so
Zooks.
expertly sending your rope across, it latches, secures, and you have a nice taut rope across to the derelict.
Zooks was going to attempt the same thing with his grappling hook, but he's just going to chuck his.
Okay. Ranged attack.
What do I? Ranged attack. So, all right. Slash roll.
Did we all get grappling hooks?
No,
Are
we
we
bought.
using are we using
Oh
Matthias's
no,
catapult?
Ziggy, I totally forgot. Ah, that is my bad.
Ah,
Ziggy, you would have had the opportunity to spend your gold before leaving. So if there's any gear that you would like to buy,
we have, what is it, 50?
Ziggy actually has
Uh,
100 right now because he still
yeah.
has his $50, his 50 gold piece voucher and the 50 that
Oh.
Merc gave him.
But we couldn't use any of our real money there.
Correct.
So, $50. Any adventuring gear you need, weapons or armor.
Okay.
Can I fire the harpoon gun / ballista, whatever we're calling it?
He's going to destroy the other ship.
Ship's already
We
pretty
need stuff
thoroughly
on it.
destroyed.
Alright, so we've already got 2 over there. Let's get a third one. Hell yeah. It ain't going nowhere.
So
I don't even know how to. What do I do to like work this machine?
Well, why don't I show you?
Hmm.
Oh,
oh.
pictures are so good.
They are. I love the art from this so far.
I wish that was bigger.
Are those plasmoids or are those like the simulation stuff?
They're plasmoids. They're big little blobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
There's-
blobs.
They're simulation plasmoids.
Well, I wasn't sure.
Okay.
So are we all allowed
if
to
you
use
all
the
want a
dice
bigger
rope?
picture of this thing, let me see if I can get you one real quick.
You can click. There's a little magnifying glass.
That's for the main picture. I'm talking
Oh,
the
okay. Hammerhead ship thing.
details. Yeah. So if you shift Z that, you could then. Oh, never mind. That's a tiny image. Rip. Let's see. Okay, so why don't I just do this instead? Now, if you magnify glass the info,
tiny.
yeah, you'll
I
get.
can't pop it back open. Can you pop it back up?
Yeah, one moment.
I accidentally closed it.
It's in our journal.
Yeah, I can't open it from the journal.
Okay. There you go.
It's not. What the fuck?
Now, if you magnifying glass it, man, the image is still tiny. Weird.
Yep.
I can't look at it anyways. It won't let me open it.
I can magnify it, but the words are still very blurry for me.
Yeah, I've got it.
I just see 50 gold piece, ballista, hit point 50 points, armor class 30, and then the text is just crazy.
Yeah, the
and then I
text
see
is too small.
buff in bold, and then the rest is just. Oh wait, let me see.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna put one. I'm gonna put the. I'm gonna put a better quality image of it in Discord right now.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah, that's better, right?
Oh yeah, that's way better. +6, got it.
So the basic way that initiative will work when you're actually in the ship, we'll go over more detail in a minute. But essentially, everybody acts on the same initiative, and you can perform each of the ship's actions, and that would be an entire round.
So can we use the ballistas to latch onto the other ship?
If you attach rope to them, like
Yeah.
to the bolts, like Red just
Red
did.
has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. That would be a good way for me to get on.
Get on an enemy ship.
Yeah.
So Red, using the ballista, you can definitely hit the other ship and get your third rope over there.
15.
right, 15 definitely hits. Okay, so let's go ahead and get perception checks from anybody that is boarding the ship and searching for the logbook.
Yeah.
So as you all board and begin looking around, you can see that the ship was small to begin with. Its remains are practically shattered hunks of wood floating around in its own gravity plane. Fantastic, everyone. So there's not a whole lot of substance left to the ship. Like, if you look through certain points, you can see all the way through it out into wild space in multiple different spots. Your checks from earlier about how the ship was destroyed, it does appear that it ran afoul of these asteroids and was broken to pieces as it kind of bounced between them. There's a 15 in there. I think that would get that much info. But after a few moments of looking around, you do spot the book kind of just floating around in the silvery dust particles that are moving around everywhere.
No baddies around?
It seems quite quiet on the deck of the ship.
I'll
gonna
go get
mage
it.
hand. No, I'm gonna mage hand it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Great
Okay.
idea.
Mage hand, grab it. Is it set off anything?
No?
Nope. Okay, well, we got it.
Head back to the other boat.
Yeah.
Zook's gonna unlatch his grappling hook so he doesn't lose it, but he's gonna then use it to pull himself through the gravity plane back to his ship.
Same.
Right, all right.
Then we're gonna have to cut the ballistas rope.
Yeah, Red will cut it and then climb back up the rope.
Okay.
What does it feel like if you're outside of the gravitational plane?
It's weightlessness.
Floating in a,
Yeah.
you're floating
Is it
in a
breath-
most peculiar way.
Is it breathable?
Way.
So the way that works is as soon as you leave your ship's gravity plane, you carry a little bit of a bubble of air with you.
Okay.
Your personal bubble does not last for too long. Only a few minutes. We'll get more details about that when we get the actual book. But for now, you can survive floating around outside of your ship once you get past the gravity plane for probably a couple of minutes before you run out of air and have to start saving against suffocation.
Oh god.
What if you don't breathe?
Yeah, if you
Oh.
don't breathe, I feel like you would have a much easier time not dying from suffocation.
Undead. Haha.
It's forever lost in space. Floating slowly to oblivion.
Cooking stardust.
All right. So, have you all made it safely back aboard your hammerhead ship and out of that silvery dust that surrounds the derelict?
We have all. Is that silvery dust suspicious at all? Or anything-
It is a cloud of silvery dust that, as of yet, is unidentified, drifting around the gravity plane, forming a sphere around the ship.
You want me to touch it?
I'm assuming we
Well,
have been touching
everybody's touched it. You were all walking through it amidst it.
Oh, okay.
Heading back to your
Guys-
ship, you're probably covered in a light powdering of it.
Yeah, do you want to do like a cleanup first before we get it set off? Just in case these are like spores of some sort?
I don't even know how to do that.
Let's get the crew to just like clean us off real quick.
Decontamination.
Yeah, like a decontamination section.
Okay. As you say that, Ziggy, one of the crew members would come up from behind you and NFL style drop a bucket of water on your head.
Now
thank you.
Zook's just a big furball.
Ziggy, you do see like a silvery, almost like a silvery oil slick flowing away and off the deck of the ship. As you clean this off, you were quite clearly covered in the stuff, but it is washing away relatively easily.
Nice. Lovely. Good. Don't want to bring anything crazy on board here.
Can I bottle this stuff?
What are you bottling? Are you bottling the runoff from the people, or are you heading back to the derelict to try and get some there?
Oh god.
Well, no, just whatever's like on me, like if I can.
Oh yeah. I would say from what you can do, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check first to see how carefully you can collect this stuff. Okay.
That's
So
the second time I've done 9s.
9. So Red, I would say that you can collect about 1 acid vial sized full of the stuff.
Perfect. That's all I have left.
I would like to remind Red this is an illusion. Whatever is in there, it will not be there when
She yelled at us saying we need to treat this like it's real.
Interesting. So would you say you are role-playing this
We just got meta.
this assignment? Yep. Are you role-playing within this role-play assignment?
Maybe.
Then I will do the same. Continue.
So Red has a vial full of the stuff, a small glass beaker-sized vial full of this strange silvery material that seems to like it almost has like a dull silver radiance to it, almost like if it was in a dark room, it would light this very dull silvery glow.
I have vial of space dust.
Space dust.
Does everybody else wash this stuff off of them?
Yes.
Please do.
Yeah, I'll take the time to do so, but
Anila, you as well?
Yep, and she's made a note. We really need a decontamination thing other than water.
Chamber.
Yep.
What does it taste like?
Oh my god. I would not advise to eat it.
Metallic,
Coppery metallic? Or
more
just
like
down?
steel.
Okay.
If it was, it's not, doesn't taste like steel. That is the closest comparison that you can make to it, though. Almost like vaguely fizzy, almost. It's like, you know, the best way that I could describe it is like when you touch your tongue to a battery, like a 9-volt battery when you do that. Because I know all of us have done that, right?
I'm not ashamed. Yes, I have.
Oh, I've done it a
Several
bunch of
times.
times, but I also don't
Boys.
claim an abundance of intelligence. So. All right. So it does appear that you all have collected your book, and now it is time to make our way back out of this asteroid field. So I need everybody to repeat the ability checks that you used to get into this field.
well,
Nice.
one.
Sari,
Oh, not bad.
Yes.
question. Is
Sure.
your dexterity better pretty good as well?
My dex is a +2.
Oh, okay, same as my strength, so we won't be more optimized if you use it.
Anila, your critical success on that will allow us to give one player advantage.
Alright, we just need.
Me, sorry. Womp womp.
You'll get you.
Uh,
You'll
you're-
take the advantage.
Oh, then okay.
Well, you're supposed to do survival anyways.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. bad.
Survival check. Survival. Pew.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay. So,
Let's give Matthias the 20.
yeah, you're all able to expertly navigate your way out of this debris field, leaving the derelict behind as you go. Yeah, you get out without any sort of structural damage. Your ship is still in excellent shape, even after 2 journeys through the asteroid field and an encounter with the fizzy noodles. You are all
Yes.
yeah, you're doing admirably on this mission so far. And
Okay, jawohl.
so yeah, as your ship steers clear of the asteroids, you all see another ship appear.
Oh, is it them?
Its sleek frame is painted in a wild shade of pink. It seems designed to resemble an immense squid of some kind. Starlight reflects off the ship's hull, illuminating 2 turret-mounted ballista that slowly rotate to face your ship.
Oh.
Man the weapons.
What do y'all do?
Okay.
How far away are they?
They are approaching quickly. They moved around from behind one of the close-by asteroids as you moved past it. They are accelerating quickly towards you. I would say they are only about 40 feet behind you at this point.
Okay.
Can I
Basic-
turn the ship and zoom it around so that I can have the hammerhead ram them?
You'd like to turn to face them? Absolutely.
goodness.
Make an ability check to get
Remember,
that
the
quick
point
maneuver.
of this flight is to keep the ship as intact as possible.
Yeah, should we just...
Should we not
Oh,
ram
well.
with the ship?
Ramming
That is-
speed!
These are the other people that we put their bed in the.
No.
No.
Let's
No.
go ahead and get perception checks from anybody that's on the deck, looking at the
Okay.
ship, trying to figure out what's on there.
Oh, damn it.
Sari, you can do yours with advantage since you have the glass.
Thank you. I will be using my psionic mind to anyone in 30 feet on with me in the ship is being told to prepare for battle, just in case.
I would like to use my sessional to give Zook advantage.
So,
I'll
turning
take that
towards the
20.
ship and beginning to get a
Next.
good look at it. Anila, let's go ahead and get that Arcana check from you so we can see if you can do the quick 180 turn on the hammerhead. Face it towards the oncoming ship. Okay, fantastic. So, Anila, in a fantastic maneuver, you all feel the tail of the ship swing around as the hammerhead stays in one spot until you're lined up with this approaching ship, giving you all a much better look at the enemy that is now approaching you. You quickly determine this is not Micken. This is very much not Micken. In fact, Ziggy, you would immediately recognize these as Githyanki.
Mind Flayer. Get Yankee. Oh my
Yankee.
god.
The other variety of Gith, because you're a Gith Zerai, right, Ziggy?
Yep. Yep.
Fantastic. So a ship crewed entirely by Githyanki. You see them pointing towards your ship and then pointing out towards the derelict into that direction. And you see several of them with spyglasses looking out at you. And
Are they doing on a nautiloid?
no, they are on a squid ship.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me see if I can show you all that real quick. You're not on this ship right now, but you can get a good look at it and see the style of it right here. But that is the ship that is approaching you, and you're all on an intercept course directly with it. You can see the Githyanki aboard the ship pointing around. You see them pointing towards the side of your vessel, and the silvery little rivers that are shining in the starlight running along the side of it. They point towards it. You see them collapsing their spyglasses. And as they begin to charge directly towards your ship, I believe that is where we call it a session tonight.
Ah,
Aw.
Oh.
every time.
Okay.